Welcome. What's up, everybody? It's Inject Mondays. Kiera here. Got Big Frank with me tonight again. I truly thank y'all for tuning in each and every Monday. But tonight I just want to talk. Today's topic is I'm kind of torn a little bit. Is I told y'all about the dream that I had last week, and Big Frank told me it's not how you start, it's how you finish.
Hmm.
So I was saying, in that dream, guys, so basically what happened was I was on the stage and like I knocked everything off the stage and just I don't know, but people was laughing at me. And then at the end of the dream, like everybody was clapping and but it never showed me like what happened at the end of the dream. And so, I explained it to Frank, I went home and I kind of like marinated on it, like what does this mean? And and I felt like it was God saying like it's okay to start over. Like you have to start over like as many times as you need to.
Valid.
And for me, it's like I know that because it's like, and I think sometimes, I psych myself out a little bit, like thinking like I'm not qualified for this life just because I know I have a past. But I feel like that's kind of the whole point of life is to know like we have a
Oh,
past.
for
Like,
sure.
like yeah, I did X, Y, and Z before, but now I'm doing things different. Like I went to school when I first after I had my first daughter. I went to college because that's what I was supposed to do, right? Right
Hmm.
after high school and literally didn't graduate. I kind of just stopped going like
Hmm.
one day and I'm like, but I wasn't ready, but then later on in life I went when I was like 27 I think when I finally did go back, but I was ready, like I knew what I wanted to do.
Hmm.
I had more knowledge about how to do it,
Yeah.
and and I aced it and I walked across the stage and I graduated. um and that was like, oh wow, like so it was okay. Like, and I always kept telling myself, like, here, you're 27, you can't be starting over. Like, you have to have things done by a certain time. But it's not true. Like, we could literally start over as many times as we need to. Like, and sometimes I feel like that's what God wants us to do. Like, hold up, stop, start fresh. Like,
No doubt.
it's a learning process. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's like even like my prayer life, like sometimes I'd be like, you know what, God, that prayer didn't even start off right, let's do it over.
Let's do it over right
Like,
now.
and I just don't want to people I just don't want you to harm yourself because you feeling like you can't start over. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the whole point in life. And then it's like God gives us the power to do that. Like, Kira, okay, go ahead, give it another try. Go
Yeah.
go at it a different route, maybe. And now this time I know the mission. I know I'm not doing it just for me. I know I'm not doing it just for accolades. I'm literally doing it for my kids. I'm doing what's my goal in the end. I'm setting a goal in mind. Like I got more knowledge this time when I went into going back to school. Like, okay, I want to do this. This is more closer to my purpose,
Yeah.
and knowing my purpose because I'm fresh out of high school. I don't got a clue yet what God want for me.
Valid.
Like
Valid.
I'm just like I made it out of high school, so I'm celebrating and everything like that. And then like even I remember growing up, y'all, like in school, I wasn't a bad kid. I just had a really smart mouth,
Mm.
and it was just like I remember walking in class one day, and my friends was like, "Yo, Kiera, ain't that your mom down there?" I'm like, "No, my mom at home." Like, they like, "Nah, that's your mom, man." I looked down the hallway, it's my mom. She was like, "Yeah, your teacher called, say you don't know how to act during class, so I came to sit with you." So I'm
Dang,
sitting
I've
there,
been
yeah.
there.
I'm like, she like, "Yeah, go ahead, talk how you normally talk when I'm not here. Why you being quiet?" I'm like, this class was like the longest 30 minutes of my life, but like it was like a wake up call for me too because it's like, what is you doing all of that for? Like,
Yeah.
now I'm taking time out of her day. She leaving work to come sit with me at school. So it was like after that, me and the teacher had like the best relationship.
Hmm.
Like we was cool and she looked out for me. And truthfully, like, and that's another thing too. Like you in the beginning, you could block your own blessings. Like I had teachers that actually wanted the best for me, and had I
Hmm.
listened to them, I probably would have had the things I needed a lot
For
sooner,
sure. For
as
sure.
opposed to just being a rebel. That's really all it was. But I just want to like say, like, start over. Like
Yeah.
that relationship, the like I was listening to something earlier. I think it was Sarah Jakes, and she was like, okay, we've been toxic. Like we can fix it
Yeah.
if we want to. If we want to, valid, right?
Yeah.
But we don't. If not, let's just leave it where it's at and keep going. Like even like my siblings, we can start over. We can start a new relationship and start fresh. Like things
Right.
happen, conflict gonna come, but it's okay to start fresh and to make a new beginning so that you could have a better ending. Like that's really the goal for me is to have a good ending because I've been in relationships and I've been the toxic one. Like I won't lie. Like,
Hmm.
okay, all right, I'm sorry, baby. Like let's fix this. Okay, we can't fix this, so let's go our separate ways.
Yeah,
And
valid.
it
Valid.
hurts, but how you have to like it's like I just don't think people will be like everybody's always like, I don't want to start over, but you have to start over.
Gotta start over. The Bible says better is the end of a thing.
Oh wow.
Sometimes the ending of a thing is better because there's the new.
Right.
And sometimes we try to get the new stuff still dealing with the old stuff and you just can't do both.
No, you can't.
Um I want to be
Don't
petty,
talk
but
about me, Frank.
no, because like the reason why he tell you to give and get stuff away and end some stuff just so that you can make room for
What's coming?
what's coming.
Hmm.
But if you hold on and preserving and trying to keep stuff, you'll never be able to embrace what's coming
That's a
because you're
fact.
already occupied.
True.
You already got stuff
Yeah.
happening.
Okay. And you're trying to drag that baggage, like
Right.
that baggage can't come with you, and it's like I don't know, but for me, I did that, y'all. Like I have baggage, and I'm like, come on, this is the good life. Like let's go.
Mm-hmm.
This is the good life over here. But if they can't see what you see, then you really just hurting yourself in the end because you're trying to carry somebody that don't want to be carried.
Yeah, that absolutely.
And it's like it ends up bringing you down ultimately. And then two, it's it's man, it's just a different it's just different, y'all. But you have to be comfortable with it. You have to, and the unfortunate part of it is that it's so uncomfortable. Starting
Mhm.
over is so uncomfortable. Like when I was getting saved and trying to figure out this life, like nothing about me was comfortable. Like I'm telling you, like I didn't even sleep comfortably. Like
Mhm.
it was literally like God, like, and it's like, and I'm like, is this God, like, learning the difference too?
Yeah,
Like,
for sure.
what's going on in my life? Like, but I was ready. Like, okay, I was literally tired, and I just don't want you to get to a point where it becomes that you're starting over just because you're tired. Like, you
Right.
have the option to save that part of your emotions. Save yourself from that draining feeling. Like, nobody deserves to go through that.
Right.
And I just feel like it could just be better for you. Even like growing up, like I told y'all, like acting up in school. I remember like one time I had this teacher, and my friends was like, oh man, my friends was giving her a run for her money this day, and me and her was tight. And I was like, you know what, man, I'm about to just join the party. Like, we about to just give her a run. And I remember after class, she was like, we done. Like, you know what I'm saying? She's like, I don't know what happened today class, but like,
Yeah.
it's over. I'm like, yo, no, like, hold on. And she was like, what? Like, what was that? I was like, yo, can we start over? Like,
Yeah.
literally. And
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
literally remember saying that to her. Like, she's like, what you mean? I'm like, she's like, what's gonna be different? I'm like, I'm gonna be a good student. Like, like look out for me. And you have to though. You have to be comfortable with that. You have to have the conversations to do that. You
No.
can't
Yeah.
just say like, hey, let's start over, but what's gonna change? Like, let's project what the plan is, what's the mission in starting over. Like
Valid.
in this relationship, if we starting over, we trying to get to a place, or we just trying to see like what's the time frame, like
Right.
what is it?
Yeah.
And if you need help, like people don't understand that. Like
Mhm.
I don't want anybody to just be stuck.
Right.
That's
Right.
the most like the worst place to be for me, like because it's like you fighting for your life and you feel like you're not getting nowhere, and it feels like you're drowning, you know what I'm saying? And it's just not a good feeling.
Yeah, and what you're talking about requires a plan. Like, some people are starting over with no plan, and for me and me and my wife were just talking of having to redo something just because we haven't had a plan. Like we've been winging it and just
Right.
working it, but no, let's stop. Let's stop winging
Winging
it
it, yeah.
and let's have a plan of action.
That's a fact.
Because, but that's like you said, that takes conversation, communication. It takes an exchange, and
Yeah.
you got to do it.
That's a fact. I mean, I don't lie to you. I was winging it, paying my bills for a long time, and I was like, "All right, God, I need a plan because
Yeah, no,
the
valid, valid.
balance." And it worked though. Once you execute a plan, it's like, oh, so I do got X amount left over. Once I do pay everything the proper way, And even
Valid.
parenting, like when I had my youngest daughter, yeah, I was 19, living at home. Thank God for my mom.
Yeah.
But I was still trying to live my life. I wasn't thinking about raising a kid at the time.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know in my younger years, I wasn't present probably like I should have been. But thank God for my mom because my mom was there. And it's not that I wasn't there, I just was still living. My mom let me live my life. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? And I'm not afraid to admit that. And I think also, too, that's the hard part in starting over is admitting, like, hey, God, I know I did this. And then letting somebody like bring it up. Like when people bring up, like, okay, remember that time? Yeah, I do. What's up?
Yeah. What's up?
Like, I'm not holding on to that. I know it happened. I healed. I asked for God for forgiveness and I
Absolutely.
moved past it. You can't let nobody hang anything over your head as long as you know that you handled it. And even too, I had to learn to forgive myself for a lot of the things, like let my mom raise my daughter, or, letting myself get myself in certain situations
Mm-hmm.
because it was weighing on me more than it was even weighing on other people.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm
Yeah.
like, here, just let it go. Like, and I literally had, like, I was telling my cousin about it. And she's like, here, God forgave you a long time ago.
Long
Like,
time
as
ago.
soon as it happened, it was done. She was like, you just gotta move forward and press forward. And I was like, once I started thinking about things like that, I'm like, so just stay encouraged because that's really what it's all about.
You're valid.
And I'm just like, wow, like, you have to be encouraged. And career wise, it don't matter if you start a job 10 times. If that 10th time is the job that is your purpose and it falls in line with what you have planned, that's
Mm-hmm.
okay. Like, it's your life. Like, literally, God gave us the gift of life, the best gift
Mm-hmm.
ever. And it's up to us to navigate through it the best way we know how and understand that we doing the best we can. So if I have to start over a few times on the road, that's okay.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
okay. Um, and just each time, no, you starting over stronger, wiser than you was the last time. And like Frank said, starting over with a plan. Like, why am I doing this? What am I expecting out of
Yeah.
this? And what do I want to happen? Like, what's my end goal? What's gonna happen? And also too, it was something else. Let's see. Just understanding that when you start over, it's not gonna be perfect just because you decided to start over.
Valid.
You
Now, now, listen. Perfection. I know we got perfectionists out there. Kudos to you all, but perfection is not a requirement
no.
to succeeding and doing well. But if you have no trial and no error, you don't know where to adjust. You don't know what to change. You don't know what to revamp. And then some things you don't have the capacity to do, and therefore you got to reach out for help and assistance to others to get that
Amen.
help as well. But if you try to do everything yourself, and
Then
I listen, I ain't perfect, and I
no,
realize that because of that, I know that why I need help
that's
and
a fact.
assistance. I can't do everything.
And I feel like God didn't ask us to be perfect. He just asked us to do it.
Exactly.
So if that's another thing, like it's like we don't, like you said, it's not, we don't have to be perfect on the first try. You literally just have to, I literally felt like I just had to try and God kind of
Mm-hmm.
did the rest.
Right.
Like, and it's like, and I'm like, okay, God. And it's like, life ain't about, I seen this quote and it said, life isn't about who you once were. It's about who you are right now
Yeah.
and who you have the potential to be. And everything that you go through in life makes you who you are right now. So
Yeah.
you survived all of it. So what you had to start over along the way. So what you're a single mom and you want to go back to school, you got 3 kids, you make it work. When I went back to school, my daughter was 7 or 8, I think. And when I went back to school, like I made sure that I made my schedule around hers so that I
Mm-hmm.
didn't need anybody. So that I didn't have to be a
Mm-hmm.
burden to anybody
Yeah.
else but to myself. Was it hard? Yeah, because now I'm taking a pay cut at work, like, but with everything you do starting over, it's a sacrifice.
Yes.
It's a sacrifice, and you just have to be willing to sacrifice that for the better. Nothing's gonna happen overnight. Excuse me. But everything is possible to come, and don't expect to get it right the first time. Expect to keep trying and doing it over and over. And ask for help. Like, use your resources. Like, I feel like that's me. Like, all day I'm like, I don't need nobody. I got it. I could do it,
Mm-mm.
and I don't want to ask for help. But Frank, I need help.
Help.
But
Listen,
like,
and it's a real thing,
I,
and you can't. And God designed it that way because He said, I got people assigned and set up to help you,
you
but because you're so independent or trying to do it yourself, you're not reaching out to the resources.
That's
I
a
cause
fact.
men to give. I cause people to give to people.
Oh, wow.
And the Bible says, I cause men to give into your bosom. But if you never ask that you need help, people assume I got it. Listen,
People think
listen.
you're rich.
People think I got it together. Even at my church, think I got it together. Yeah,
Wow.
no.
No.
Struggle resides here currently.
That's
It's
a
rough
fact.
some days. It's hard some days. But because I've been so a loner, a
Yeah.
lone wolf, and working it out,
No.
that it looks like, oh, Frank, we just thought you had no
No.
blood.
It's like I got it all together, but it's hard to use your resources.
Yeah,
It's hard when you're used to not having nobody and doing everything on your own, and then coming to the church, having people to even just talk to is different for me.
valid.
Like,
No, it makes sense.
even like I told you with the email, like I sent Frank an email, y'all. And he said, "You ain't text me back." I said, "Frank, I didn't know what those words meant." He said, "You're supposed to tell me that," but because I'm like, I'm ashamed to say, like,
Yeah,
I don't know what
no,
those words mean,
valid.
but that's how you learn. Like, you
Yeah.
have to be comfortable, and it's like even using your outlets. Like now, it's like I'm like I can't talk to everybody. I
Yes.
can't vent to everybody,
No, for
but
sure.
I can use the people that God gave me because that's why they're there. And
Yes.
it's like you can avoid getting to that dark place because you got the right people in your life. You just have to utilize them.
Yes.
And I don't know. I just don't think people understand that part of it
Right.
either.
Because we project. So my little light study. It's gonna sound deep, but I
That's
just
all
looked it up.
good. Make it deep.
Sometimes we are afraid because we assume that somebody's going to deliver the story a certain kind of way or expose us or be
True.
vulnerable because it's like, hey, what if I tell you I need help? But then I got to deal with the chance that you just might go run and tell somebody else, or you just might go and expose it to say, oh, yeah, I was there. When she needed me, I was there. But sometimes we project that, and it's not even like that. And then also part two is even if it did happen, and move on.
Right.
You were
That's a
used,
fact.
and we thank you, and we're
Let's
moving
move
on.
on. That's a
Okay,
fact.
like, but we make it. We're afraid and fear. I feel like this is real deep. I want to be deep real
Do
quick
deep. Let's go deep.
because fear, the root, the Greek word for that is phobos, which goes back to being phobic, which means to be. It's an irrational fear, meaning that you projected the negative so much because you haven't even tried, and you didn't realize that there are certain people waiting for you to show up to ask for help to give you.
That's a fact.
And
It's funny
there.
you say that because I feel like in my dream, like that's kind of how
Yeah.
it was for me. Like you were so scared to do it. Even doing the radio station, I was scared. The first couple weeks, I was shaking at home. Like I was getting closer to that time. But because I'm not used to it, and now I've become accustomed. Like I still get nervous. Don't get me wrong, but I know that's because I need God to get me through.
Valid.
But at the end of the day, it's like I'm adequate. I'm not. I'm psyching myself out, thinking, Kiera, you did this and this, and all of this going. All that stuff is in the past. I haven't looked that way. I haven't thought that way. So why is you even thinking about it? Like, and it's like I don't think. For me, I had to literally hear somebody tell me that, like, it's over, it's done, let it go, pull yourself out, like, and I'm like, okay, now it's starting to make sense, like more and more. But even still, I'm just like, why? What do you get by just thinking the negative constantly? You're just draining yourself.
Yeah.
So you have to encourage yourself. Today, this morning, when I got up there, I looked in the mirror and I said, I love you. I said, God got a plan for you. You're gonna see it come. It's gonna happen, and you're gonna have a great day. And I said, I hope you have a blessed day. Literally, that's what I said to myself.
I don't talk to myself in the mirror enough.
I'm not you have to, man. Listen, I'm doing my face in the morning. I'm just like, okay, look at your skin. It's flawless. Keep going. Like, but it's just, that's just something I literally just did this morning. But it felt good to start my day off like that. Like, you have to start over every day. Like, literally, even if it's just changing your daily routine, like making more time.
Online, they said they're so proud of you.
Dorcas, I appreciate you. That's my hairdresser. Love you, Dorcas. But yeah, and it's like starting over is a daily. Like I'm still figuring out my schedule, like my kids, work, the show, like doing everything else that I'm doing, like study time for me, like making time for myself, the gym.
Yeah.
I literally change my schedule every day. I'm like, okay, today this schedule works, and tomorrow, no, we got to tweak some things in here.
For sure.
And I'm just like, and at first I was like, here, no, this is not having a schedule, but this is having a schedule. It's gonna change daily, so you have to learn to adjust to it.
Me and my wife just had this conversation. And we got 3, and they
listen. I don't know how you do it,
but it's like I said, that goes back to having a plan. And the thing about being afraid is not abnormal.
No,
and being afraid doesn't necessarily have to cancel out fear, but you got to face what you're afraid of.
That's a feeling.
And that's a key element to your growth and your development. The fact that I'm nervous, yeah, no, I'm nervous every month. Yeah,
Right.
yeah, listen to God.
So,
Let the station
right.
just stay on.
That's a
Let
fact.
the Wi-Fi be paid.
That's a
Come on,
fact.
let us not be evicted. You know, Lord, let us
Yo,
not be. But
seriously.
what happens is trusting God and facing that and moving in the strength of what He said
Mhm.
concerning us and what He said about our dreams, our vision, and our goals. Is something that we have to keep in the forefront.
Right.
You know, on a
Because it
regular
keeps you
basis.
going. It keeps
Yes.
you, like I told you, with me going to prayer. So I went on Thursday, and I was like, my youngest is a little busy, I'm gonna
Mm-hmm.
say. And I was like, my daughter, my oldest has somewhere to go. So I was like, oh, I gotta take you with me. I was like, oh, I'm not gonna go. But I ended up taking her, and she was chilling, and it was like it all worked together, you know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? And just going, like, it felt good just to be in the presence, like, and
Mm-hmm.
just to go. And I still was able to, like, I always feel like my kids kind of distract me from, like,
Mm-hmm.
getting into the moment. But it wasn't like that this
Wow.
time. It was like I was praying on my way there, like, God, please just let her relax and chill and listen
Mm-hmm.
to the videos. And but it all worked out. And I think I'm like, God, I need that more often. I need to be like, yo, I need your help. Let's do this. Like, get me through this, get me here. And he's showing me, like, every day that as long as I ask, I'm getting it, I'm
Wow.
receiving it.
Wow.
So I'm like, Kiera, start over, like, literally in everything that you want to do. Writing these segments and doing videos and stuff. Like, when I first started blogging, yeah, it would take me like 2 3 videos before I would actually find a video that I would post. And now I've gotten so accustomed to it that sometimes I make a video one time and I post it,
Mm-hmm.
because I learned, like saying, like, I grew in doing these videos and
Valid.
starting over,
Valid.
and
Valid.
learning from my mistakes each time. And you get, like, I don't even know what the word is, but you have, like, a certain memory in a sense that
Mm-hmm.
allows you to keep going and keep doing it.
Yeah.
And even like I said, going back to school, like, anything you want to do, just do it. Just take the
Just
first step. Like, literally,
that has been the phrase for
just,
the day.
it is, just
Just
do
do it.
it. God didn't say do it perfect, do it right. He said just do it.
Yeah.
Just do it. And even for myself, I want to go back to school, yeah. And I've been trying to figure it out. But
Mm-hmm.
I said, God, I'm just gonna apply, and then we just gonna figure
Let's
out the
figure it
rest,
out the
because I
rest.
can't I can't wait. Like, and even when I told you I went to prayer, I was like, Bishop was like, I didn't call you to pray because you got the baby. I said, no, I could do it. I could do it. But that's the confidence that I want to have. So
Yeah.
I have
Yeah.
to speak that to myself, like, okay, I can do this. Like,
Yes.
and I'm like, no matter if I got to do it every day and talk to myself, like, I could do this. That's what I want to do.
Valid.
Because it's like you get tired of being in the same place at the same time. And a lot of your frustration come from literally just sitting in the same place knowing you're not growing because you're scared to
Lit-
start over.
Literally.
Literally.
Because some of us are legit just doing the same routine stuff,
Hmm.
miserable because not because God didn't
See?
sanction it, not because God is making a way, because we haven't tried it,
Right.
we haven't gone
Go
for it.
for it.
We
Mhm.
told ourselves, "Oh, we just stay right here. I've been doing this. I can't." No,
No.
then you get mad with everybody else and you frustrate with everybody else because you didn't
Right. You got
go
to do
for
your
it. You
part
gotta do
too.
your
And
part.
it's like, even I was struggling writing, like, writing in my journal every day. And I'm like, God, why can't I write? He's like, because you're really not trying to. You're trying to rush to write, and then
Mm-hmm.
that's it. Now I made time. Okay, this is gonna be my writing time.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, it's me and you now. Like, it's different things that is showing me, like, okay, you have to literally make a plan. Like,
Yes.
and so I'm just like, I want to start. I don't want to. I started this journey halfway in, halfway out.
Yeah.
And 1 foot in, 1 foot out, trying to bring the rest of what was out there with me, and it wasn't working. So now I want to have I want to jump in, literally
Valid. Valid.
jump in, and I want everybody out there to do the same thing. And I know it's hard, and I know it's exhausting sometimes, believe it or not. Like, Frank run the radio station, y'all. Like, and he got a family, and he got a wife. I don't know how he do it, and he does everything. Like, I don't know, but you have that goal, you have that mission
Yeah.
to get your goals accomplished. So it's a great example of how to keep going.
Valid. And it comes at a cost. It does.
Exactly.
It comes at a cost. No.
You sacrificing time at home, like
Mm-hmm.
time where you could probably just be at home chilling watching
Chill.
TV for
Yeah.
once,
Valid.
like just being a regular person. But
No, valid.
no,
That's real.
seriously,
That's
like,
real. That's real.
it is. It's sacrifice. It's time away from your kids, and I think too, like, that's a plays a part for me, because I'm like, okay, am I parenting? Am I, cooking dinner. Like I'm trying to cook dinner, do this. Okay,
Hmm.
is everything, and I don't want to rush. Like I still want my kids to feel like, okay, mom spent time with us, mom loved us,
Right.
but she still made it a point to do what she had to do.
Right.
And that's just literally leading by example. And it's like, I told you with my oldest, it literally showed me that I was all right. Like going to parent teacher conference and getting a good report,
Hmm.
I was just like, at home is just like a battlefield, literally. And I'm just
Oh,
like,
absolutely.
to go to school and get that praise report was like, oh, okay, so it's not, maybe it's just at home.
Hmm.
And that's all it's supposed to be. I don't care if you can be good at school and come home and act up. I'm totally okay with it. But you have to put that in your kids. You have to lead them by example and put that in yourself to keep trying, because how can you expect them to not try if you won't? You know what I'm
Absolutely.
saying? Like
Absolutely.
growing up, people always say, I want you to go to college, I want you to do this, but nobody in my generation before me went to college. Nobody had that college degree, or
Hmm.
that I knew of at least. So I did it for myself.
Yeah, and nobody actually, pushes that movement. They'll go to college in light thought, but like pushing, like making education a
Patient
priority.
priority, yeah, and that's what I want my daughter. Like I keep
Yeah.
telling her, like, so what? You gonna struggle in a class? Her class is living environment. That was my class too. I took the Regents like 4 times. I can't do it. Can't do it, baby girl. I know it's hard, but she broke it down. Teacher broke it down. Hey, man, we don't get this. She gave us all types of like vocab and things to break it down in section wise to increase her grade. Sheldon said, I appreciate y'all telling the truth. Love so much and much love. We need Juice healthy. You make me fall in God and His Son even more. I think that's okay. Yeah.
We need you healthy is a little bit confusing, but we got you.
It's a good fact.
Valid,
Yeah,
valid,
and
valid. What are you gonna
man, the
say?
truth is important. The truth sets everything free, like literally. And I feel like that's another part of starting over, is that you're afraid to admit it. It's nothing that anybody can say to me right now that I'm afraid to admit, because I know the life that I lived. I know
Yeah,
what I've done. I know who I am, though.
right,
Now I know who I am. That's the
right.
difference. Like,
There's probably the preacher that I am. Bible of Moses. It says there arose a king that knew not Joseph, and he caused a lot of pain. But then Moses had a situation where he killed somebody. But Moses was running from that situation and assuming that everybody knew that he killed somebody.
oh wow,
But the accusers had died.
oh wow.
Nobody was aware. You were
That he
we're
had a
not
clean slate.
clean slate. Nobody even is thinking about what you're
Right.
talking about.
Yeah,
And sometimes we project that people are still talking about.
that's a fact.
Somebody's thinking
I'm
about
watching
what
that.
you did
Yeah,
downstairs
that's
in
a
the
fact.
basement on the right hand side.
At
And
the basement
you back
party.
basement for anybody having that
Right,
that is
that conversation. But
unfortunately that sounds crazy, but no, as much haters as we have,
yeah,
oftentimes it is the mystery of how you got out that is more intriguing
yeah,
than the mess that you were in.
right. That's a fact.
I'm gonna make a shirt called "Mystery Over Mess."
Ooh, I like that.
Yeah.
I
So
like that. And it's funny because I had somebody say to me yesterday. I bumped into my old friend of mine at the store, and she said, "Kiera, like I'm so happy for you, because instead of um, you know, like sitting in your mistakes, like you found a way out. You found a way to find peace and to make yourself happy. You know what I'm saying?" And she's like, "You didn't stay there, and you could have stayed in that dark place for a long time." And I said, wow, because I never thought about it like that. I never thought, I literally just thought God put me out. I didn't realize,
yeah,
um, and you're right, because I do sometimes, like, even when I first got saved, I was like, man, these church people are not going to love me because I've been out in the world. I've been doing this and
mm-hmm.
that. And then, like, 4 months later, I found out I was pregnant. I was like, oh, they really about to not love me. But it was like the exact opposite. And it's like the love and the support that you have to embrace that, because
Absolutely.
that's what helps you start over. That's what gives you the strength and to pay attention. And somebody left another comment. I can't see it, but I don't know if you read it. Frank, don't stop. You're funny too. You gully to your heart. Yeah, no. So today, I mean, I just want to say, y'all, it's okay to start over. It's okay to acknowledge your past. Know your truths, but don't let that stop you. Like we all have a past. Every person does. Like I'm not perfect. Frank said he's not perfect. We just keep pushing and leaving the past behind us, and that's what essentially keeps you going, keeps you motivated, because then you can look back and be like, wow, look what I survived and look what I overcame. So that's just my message today. I thank y'all for tuning in to Inject Mondays. See y'all again next Monday. Thank you, Big Frank, for joining me, and I hope you have a great evening.
Big Frank. Big Frank in the morning on fire. 716.
What's up, fam? It's Frank. What's up, fam? It's Frank.
And Tyra. Tune in to Keeping the Fire.
Every Thursday at 6 p.m. right here on Fire 716.
This is DMP Speaks coming to you. I am a board certified Christian counselor. I'm also a life coach. I am a family restoration specialist. I help build, rebuild, and grow your family. Maybe you're having some communication problems. Maybe you guys are just yelling and screaming and you guys are just not getting along. And if you want access to me for your 30-minute consultation call, follow me on all my social media platforms. TikTok, Facebook at DMP Speaks. And if you go to YouTube and Instagram, it's at I am DMP Speaks. Download Fire 716 and click.
Unfortunately, African Americans are 30% more likely to die from heart disease than non-Hispanic whites, according to the U.S. Department of Health Services. My name is Fatima Matthews, and I am a congestive heart failure patient. I am taking my life-changing experience of having died on the table and being revived to help educate others on the topic of heart health. And I am inviting you to attend my luncheon on February 18th at 11 a.m. at the Underground Railroad Heritage Center right here in Niagara Falls, New York.
Hey, what's going on? It's your boy Dante Miles, aka D Belly, aka your city councilman. I'm here at Fire 716 Radio, and I'm asking you to tune in on Thursdays at 11 on our show, The Vault. We're going to be having some conversations that's super relevant, but very important. And sometimes it may be a little uncomfortable, but we're going to make sure that we get our voices out. Come tune in on Thursdays at 11 a.m. and make sure you download the Fire 716 app. See you then.
It's Fire 716.
Let's go. It's Big Frank in the morning, Jay Cherie keeping it going. We got them hot topics, local news, and BGC flowing. We got Big Kev on the air, Dark Knight flying in here. It's Fire 716 and we rocking it here. Hey.